You know what? Today it is going to be a very interesting topic and very nice also. Today we are going to talk about holidays and traditions. So the first question, well, let me ask to Diego if he has problems with his microphones. Have you got some problems with your microphone? All right. Okay, so no, Diego, we don't. Can you listen to me, Diego? All right. So, yes, you know what? We are going to talk about traditions. Okay, so Alejandro, please talk to me. Where are you from?
Hi, teacher. I am from Chihuahua,
Hello,
Mexico.
hello.
Oh, hello, Diego. Good. All right. So, Alejandro, you told us that you are from Chihuahua. Wow, pretty beautiful.
Yes, it is. It is very beautiful. Because state, we are not so much person in here, but it's very beautiful.
That's nice. All right. Alejandro, would you like to talk to us about your favorite holiday or tradition in Chihuahua?
Well, I don't know about holidays, very specific in Chihuahua, but we have the Christmas and the New Year. It's the most common, I think so. And we have a little bit, I don't know if it's a very common in the north of the country. We have the how do you say the feria?
Carnival.
The carnival here is very, it's a, you know, it's a very big party for the city.
Hey, that's good. That's pretty nice. And how do you celebrate?
Well, it's like a party for 15 years, 15 days, pardon, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
And, you know, some stars come here to sing in the palenque or something like that. But more specific, I don't know why because, but when you say holidays, I am thinking in vacation or uh, a specific day like a Christmas or New Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Whenever we talk about holidays, it's yes, some things that we can celebrate, a party we can do. But whenever we talk about traditions, we talk about uses. For example, here in Mexico City, a tradition is that when you meet a person, uh, if the person is, well, a friend of yours, you can invite the person to come to your house, and that person invites you also to go to his or her house. That could be a tradition.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you have any special tradition there in Chihuahua.
Well, not like a tradition, but it's a very common in the summers. We do a lot of barbecue in the houses. It's very common in Sunday. We invited our friends to have a dinner or a lunch with barbecue. It's like a tradition, you know, the beef and the beers and something like that. Everyone um, drink and eat. It's like a party, but without very specific reason, used to the the moment, the enjoy the moment,
Hey,
and
that's great.
and it's very common in summers and when the NFL starts the season. You know the football, the
I,
American football. It's very common here in Chihuahua.
Hey, that's great. All right, thank you very much. Okay, Diego, what about you? Could you talk to us about any tradition or any your favorite holiday? Diego, hello. Don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm here. I'm here.
It's okay.
My favorite holiday. Well, I think it's the end of the year. You know, Christmas, New Year, because it's when I have my vacations. So I have 2 weeks of vacation. So I think that is my favorite. I spend more time with my family and enjoy each other. I think that is significant for me.
That's
Uh,
so meaningful.
yeah, traditions. I don't know. Well, in Veracruz is the you know, uh, when somebody dies, the first person that came to your house to help you with your relative when pass away, uh, you became like a family with them just because he came in that hard moment to help you. They become like a family to you.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yes, yes, it is.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you
You're
for
very welcome.
sharing.
You're very
All
welcome.
right. Okay, so Gabby Vargas, please, could you talk to us about your favorite holiday or any tradition?
Okay, Maggie. I'm from Puebla, and
Wow.
one of these special tradition maybe is the 5 de Mayo desfile
A parade?
parade because it's a very important parade in Puebla because all the schools, all the public schools presents folkloric or no folkloric no special cars with some special or also some tema issue
Topic?
topic. Okay, some topic. For example, if some school wants to say about something of the um, the health, for example. I don't remember much topics, but something about the health. The children or the students prepares a truck with a simulation of the hospital, for example,
Wow.
and the cars go by the way for 20 or 25 streets, and the people is what is seeing or watching, no, no is watching, viendo,
Irving?
disfrutando,
Aha, enjoying.
ajá, enjoying the show, because maybe in the car are the students and they are operating somebody and doing simulating a crash, and ambulance recoge o toma
Picks up.
al accidentado. Ajá. And it's special in Puebla, this kind of shows or parades.
Wow, thank you very much, Gabby. That was so interesting. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Nayeli, what about you? What can you talk to us about the place where you go? Where you live, I mean.
Uh, I live in Hidalgo.
Wow.
We celebrate the San Francisco de Asís Day. The holidays last for about a week. You can find a lot of kind of food, enchiladas, gorditas, and other food. It ends with a castle, fireworks, bullfights, and there are handcraft expositions, and the people walk with flowers, cempasúchil, and they put in the temple.
Wow, beautiful. That sounds so nice, so colorful. All right. Thank you very much, Nayeli. Okay, so Paloma, I want to ask to you, I think that it is going to be very interesting that you talk to us. First of all, what is the holiday or tradition that you remember when you were living here in Mexico? And later on, a new one that you learned there in Pennsylvania.
Hello, teacher. Well, I remember all traditions of my country. I think they are the most beautiful traditions. And I remember, for example, the November 2nd, Dia de Muertos, our Christmas time, New Year's Eve with the family. To me, they are most beautiful traditions. And holidays too, because it's the both. It's the same. The holidays and tradition, because on Christmas and New Year's, if everybody go to the family, enjoy the time with the family, with the friends. And I remember, for example, a specific when it's the the Carnival Church. I don't know if it's correct to say that, teacher. Las
Carnival?
fiestas de la iglesia. Las fiestas de la iglesia.
Yeah.
I like to watch that, and I remember every time, for example, every year when it's the Santiago Apostol celebration, for example, in my family live in Tlatelolco, and we have the Santiago Apostol Church. That I think is the first church in the city with the Colonia, because in this church is where the I forget the name. Well, when the Fray Sumarraga to know to Juan Diego, and he can talk about the Virgen, no? And to me it's fantastic. It's impression, this history, and we continue the church with us, no? And well, teacher, in this country they have a few traditions. The holidays they celebrate is Christmas, the Thanksgiving Day, and the New Year's Eve. They are the most important holidays in this country. And the traditions, well, I in this country I only to know it's a one tradition, and I think all the country watch the TV when it's the Super Bowl day, no?
By the
When
Thanksgiving.
is the yes, when Super Bowl day, and where other day is when the baseball is the last game too. All I think I think it's more people watching the TV the Super Bowl, because I know more people who talk about that, and I know that many people like to the baseball too, but well, in my with my friends and the people who I know, few people talk about the baseball final game.
Mm-hmm.
The sports are a tradition in this country, and the other tradition they have is, for example, in Easter time, and when is the Saturday, no, it's a Sunday Easter time, the families, the friends give you a flowers bucket.
Oh,
They
nice.
yes, in this part in Pennsylvania, I don't know if it's in all country, but in this part, the friends, the family, when you invite your home, they go and give you flowers,
A bouquet of flowers.
look, bouquet of flowers. Yes, teacher. And this is a cantion here. Yes, this is I remember that now. Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much, Paloma. Very good. All right, so Elias, what about you? Please talk to us about your favorite holiday or tradition.
Hi, good night, teacher.
Good evening.
Ah, yes, I live in the city of Mexico, and the celebration are many throughout the years. For example, uh, Independence Day. Um, it is usually commemorate
Uh-huh.
in the Zócalo or in the no called alcaldías.
Uh-huh. Hey, that's it. And is it your favorite holiday?
Mm, every holidays, eh, pues, every day, years.
Hey, that's it. All right. Thank you very much, Elias. All right. So, Jose Luis, please talk to us about your favorite holiday or tradition. Jose Luis, hello. Don't be shy. Don't go. Don't sleep. Maybe Jose Luis is having some problems with his microphone. Well, you know what? I would like to have your opinion about this topic. Now we have talked about the celebrations, we have explained important traditions in your hometown, but let's go to the next part. Please tell me, do you consider that traditions are important in the social life of any country? Is it necessary to have traditions? What's your opinion about it, Elias?
Uh, it's necessary because the tradition, the people, uh, or ay, no sé en Kaisei is necessary in the social.
In social life?
Yes,
All right. Why? What's the reason, Elias?
because the human I need um, um, convivir, ¿cómo se diría?
To share?
Share, ver, intercambiar culture,
Interchange culture?
culture, forms I live, etc.
Hey, that's very interesting and very important. Thank you very much, Elias. So, Elias, please uh, select one of your classmates and ask them a question about traditions, all right?
Please repeat.
Yes, you are going to select one of your classmates, maybe Paloma, maybe Diego, maybe Alejandro, Gaby, Nayeli, and you ask a question, something that you would like to know about the traditions, maybe in their place.
Okay. Question is Paloma Gaona.
Good.
Hi, Paloma.
Hi.
Uh, what about this custom in on your life holidays?
Okay. Well, I consider the traditions. It's important for the social, for the countries, for the relation between the persons who live in a town or in a city. But if these traditions, for example, we can look at the pictures. If these traditions, it's a problem or how do you say, teacher, lastiman,
Hurt.
hurt at somebody for only the 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 persons think the traditions need to continue and need to do exactly to the, for example, the well, in the other countries, for example, with the Muslims religions, have traditions very cruel for the women. And this point, for example, that picture, I can look that fit, and I think this tradition not justify that. This is my opinion.
All right. Thank you very much. Paloma,
You're
please.
welcome. Yes.
All
The
right.
next.
Select a person and do a question.
Okay. Let me see. Gabi.
Okay.
Gabi, do you?
Hi,
Hi, Gabi. Do you consider that tradition are important in the social life of any country?
Yeah, I think that is important for the person who are in this tradition or who are in this country. But for example, for me, like the feet feet hurts, I consider that this is a stupid tradition for me because I'm not in this country or in this culture. I think that is something bad, stupid, no conscience or consciente, no conscience,
They are not
and no,
conscious.
they are not conscious, and I can understand why is the reason to do something that is doing something bad or over your body. I don't understand.
All right. Thank you very much, Gabby. Okay, Gabby, select one person, please.
Sí, okay. Maybe Jose Luis or maybe Nayeli. Nayeli,
Yes.
Jose Luis,
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you
Jose Luis. Hi. Okay, what do you think about these kind of traditions?
In my opinion, traditions are some kind of stories, beliefs, customs uh, that pass through families, the one generation to other generation. So holidays are like someone who is older to us teach teachers or teach children how to do things and how these values are transferred by generation. Um, I don't know. Are important, yes, because you can take the you own particular race for the culture. I mean, you can distinguish or you can uh, see different
culture if you know what culture is, and we only see the cloud, the I don't know, many factors to know that every human being represents a different traditions. So when you see a Mexican, you know who is Mexican. I mean, uh, by the particular traditions, but how they express about country, about food, about uh, even physically, you can see the differences with the cultures. So for me, it's very important and to transmit the culture from Mexican to the children are basically to maintain them the same costume by the generations, in my opinion.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Jose Luis, please talk to us. Who's next?
Okay, yes. Diego,
Thank you.
Okay.
do you consider that traditions are important in the social life of any country?
Um, yes, I think they are important, and but I think some uh, some traditions are not as important than the other ones. Like in the picture, I see child marriage. I think that is a bad tradition. It's and on the other picture where I see the small shoes force your feet to shrink to go in that shoe. Um, I can say it's a bad one because I don't know the meaning of that tradition, but I I think it's a different tradition. I think it's important to know what are the meanings of that traditions because for maybe for them that is it's a sign of beauty and we don't understand that, but for them that is a sign of beauty. So it's important to respect every tradition of every country, and in some, like I said before, in some specific cases, the country need to review the origin and the meaning of that tradition. That's my point of view.
Thank you very much, Diego. All right, Diego, please select a person.
Okay, Nayeli.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me, can I ask any question or you
Whatever
have
you
to?
may like.
Oh, okay. What is the weird tradition do you know about it?
In the second picture.
No. On in general, the weird tradition do you know about on any country or any uh, town or on your family or anywhere?
Um, the principal celebration my family um, is the celebration San Francisco de Asís Day.
Okay.
And any bad tradition, Nayeli, something that you consider that it's crazy, that it shouldn't be, something that you know?
What I think about the traditions,
any bad tradition. For example, you know what? When I live in Mexico State, I live very near to a place that is, its name is Tultepec. In Tultepec, people used to make a living by producing fireworks. And it's extremely, really extremely dangerous because as people have their workshops in their houses, there have been many explosions and there have been many people who has died. But whenever the authorities try to ban, to prohibit the tradition of making fireworks at home, people react and they defend the tradition. They say, no, because it's a tradition that my father taught to me, and so we have to continue. But it's extremely dangerous. There have been many explosions in the market in San Pablito where they buy the fireworks. There have been many people died, and in their houses there have been many houses burned. So I think that it is a bad tradition. It is a weird tradition. I think that that is what you meant, Diego.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Something
Thank you.
bad.
Yeah, something
negative.
bad or something weird, something funny or something different.
Ah, okay. Hello.
I was reading like a year ago about the Eskimos. So when you go to Alaska, they offer you their wives.
Yes.
So for me that is weird, but it's not a sexual thing, or it's not it's more like a sign of welcoming to their places.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
yes,
I'm sorry. I think that is like weird or different. That when somebody came to your house, you say, "Oh, you can take my wife."
because it is very cold over there,
Yes.
so that you can sleep warm.
Yes.
You know what? I knew about something. Time ago, my ex-husband invited my children to go vacation with him and his new wife. And they went to a little town in Hidalgo. It is called Atempa. And so there were my eldest son, my youngest son, and my daughter. And there were also my ex-husband and his new wife. He remarried. But my daughter was so scared because she told me, Mommy, there was a man who asked to my father. He said, Hey, sir, you have two women. You don't need two women. Give me one. I am alone. And so my ex-husband said, Yes, but she is my wife and she is my daughter. And so the man said, That's it. Give me your daughter. You don't need her. I will feed her and she's going to be my wife. Give her to me. And so my daughter was so scared because she said, Mommy, I thought that my father was going to give me to the man. And I said, Oh, come on, baby. How do you think about that? But yes, it's a tradition that when you have a daughter, you can give her to another person so that you don't have the expenses of maintaining another person in your family. Well, you know what, Gabi? I don't think it was a very modern family. I think there are some traditions in those places. And so it's, I remember also that a friend of mine told me that in that place, there come some girls from other very poor counties, some very poor towns, and they say, they knock door by door, and they say, "Hey, sir, if you give me food, I will stay here with you. I could be your wife, but please give me food." It is because poverty. And so the girls go to look for a husband who can give them to pay their expenses, to give them food. So that's another tradition in Hidalgo. So I think that was your question, Diego.
Yes, yes.
Okay, do you want
Thank you.
to ask it to anybody else?
Well, if some volunteer wanna answer the same question.
Ah, yes, that's it, volunteers.
Yes.
Hello, volunteers. Hi, don't be shy. Don't be timid. Don't sleep.
Well, I think that traditions are very important for a country because it's a part of the culture of the population. Then, if you try to do something different, it's good because every change always is good. But you need to know the traditions, and you need to know about the tradition that your country made in the past, sometimes for keep it and sometimes for do something different because it's part of the history of the country. I think so.
That's it. Alejandro, do you know anything about a different tradition, something that for you was so surprising?
Well, I think that depends the country. For our in Mexico, some traditions are very, how do you say, traditional? Very well. It's very traditional. We think maybe if you see China, they eat dogs, and for us it's very weird. Actually, it's a little sad to know the little animals are eating, but maybe they see us like a crazy people because we eat a lot of chili. I think
Ah,
that depend the point of view the person.
that's it. Yes, you're right. Okay, thank you. Alejandro, would you like to ask to anybody else or volunteers?
Let me. I think some volunteers.
All right, volunteers, come on. Don't be shy. Don't sleep. Hello.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Elias. All right.
I consider some traditions and customs very controversial because they may they may they may not respect human rights and believe that in Mexico there are very retrograde
Retrograde.
traditions such as shilling or exchange woman to get married in states, for example, in Chiapas.
Yes, you're right. I think that it is something that should be controlled, but I don't know. Do anybody of you know anything about this tradition? I guess that it is in Chiapas and in Sierra Norte in Oaxaca. So people change their daughters for food.
See, only extreme and beer, tequila, or very alcohol.
Uh-huh.
And
You know,
things very bad.
yeah, you know what? I have a friend whose family live in Sierra Norte de Juarez in Oaxaca, and he told me that there is a tradition when in a family they have a baby born and is a girl, the baby is a girl, then they have a very big party, and what they say is that they are going to eat mole de guajolote.
Yes.
Because when the gourd grows up, they are going to exchange that gourd for some food or for some animals, for example, cows, turkeys, donkeys. So it's in benefit of the family. But he also told me that the first time his mother saw his father was when his father went to knock at her family's door, and then he said, I give you these sacks of corn, these sacks of beans, and some turkeys, some hens, and I want to take that girl. She was 9 years old. So for her, it was extremely scaring because she haven't ever seen that man before. And in a moment, now she was married. And so I guess, yeah. So,
I don't understand.
The fact of shelling persons is very bad tradition.
yeah, that's it. So I don't know anybody else's opinion about this topic. You know what? I knew about it also, that in Guatemala, you can go and buy a baby. The babies they cost kind of like 2,000 pesos each baby. And there's a place,
No.
yes, there's a place where you can go and select the baby you want. And they sell you the baby, 2,000 pesos.
Is really?
Sure of it, I saw it in a video and I was looking for some information, and it's like a black market, but everybody knows.
Mhm. Well, you were saying this a few moments ago. The government need to control that kind of traditions, right? Because some traditions are result of the poverty of the countries, but some other ones are just bad. You know, like buy uh, I can understand if you go and buy a woman, you know, it's less bad than you go and buy a young girl, like 9-year-old girl to be your wife. That is unacceptable.
That's it. But you know what? I guess that here the problem is that the Constitution in the Article 4 establishes that we have to respect the traditions of indigenous countries. But here there's a contradiction because okay, we have to respect their uses, but what happens about human rights?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my consideration.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a worldwide problem. Every country has their own bad traditions, like in Muslim areas. They can have more than one wife as soon as you. I mean, if you can provide for them, you can have whatever amount of wife do you want, and that is bad too. So I think every country has its own bad traditions, and every country has to regulate that traditions.
Yeah, that's it. But you know what? I remember that some traditions are in the past. For example, I knew about that Muslim tradition also, not to have an harem. But I have a friend, his name is Abdullah Al-Muslim, and he was studying with me in the University of Southern Indiana. And he explained me some things about it, and he said that well, he and his sisters were studying there, And they told me that in the past, people used to act like that. Nowadays, it is modernity has already brought some good things for them, and some uses have changed. So they are very similar to us now in some ways. And for example, that use of having an RM nowadays is something that they don't prohibit, but it is not good. They see like a bad custom. Like here in Mexico, do you remember that time ago we used to say, how many sisters or brothers do you have? Well, I don't know. My father told me that we are 5, but who knows? Because it was a tradition that men had many families in different places, and it was something like not the law, but it was not regulated. Nowadays, it is prohibited, and it's seen like bad custom. It's something like that in Arabia, in some Muslim countries. But yes, as you said, there are some regions, certain regions, that they keep on, they continue with their traditions. So yes, it is something that should be banned, I guess. All right, so you know what? Yeah, so do you consider that there are some things that we should defend? Paloma, for example, what uses would you defend?
Um, Sorry, teacher. What uses?
Yeah,
I'm agree.
yeah, the uses that you know that you think, hey, this works while this is nice, so we should continue with this.
Well, teacher, about we are talking about the tradition. It's a complicated to talk about that because somebody tell about the human rights, and the question here is where finish the human rights and where begin to the traditions. And for example, in the countries or in Mexican states where some traditions hurt to, in this cases, to the women, I think we need to, to think about that because many traditions about, for example, where the women's it's an object. That traditions it was made it for the men, and and I think we need to review, or the government need to review these kind of traditions, exactly these kind of traditions, no other traditions. The traditions where the persons, the women's or the kids are an object, and it is to me it's a big problem because this, for example, the picture or the about you are talking about the persons who take the girls for married. I think this it's not traditions, and I'm not agree with this. And with this kind in Mexico or another country, I'm not agree. And my question is this: where finish the traditions and where begin the human rights? No, this is my opinion, teacher.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody else? Volunteers? Something that, yes.
At some the good tradition we lost already, and the one I think we have to keep going with that is respect the elders. Right? Because right now nobody say we have to stop this, but the society already stopped doing that. And I think that it's a good tradition that we should continue to do it.
Yes, you're right. It is so valuable and so necessary. Thank you very much, Diego. Anybody else? Come on, kids, don't be shy.
Maggie, I think that when a tradition converts or becomes to be a business, it's not a good tradition.
Aha.
Because if you sold or vender sell a baby, I can understand this tradition. But when you made or do this like a permanent thing, it becomes to be a business. I think that is a very bad tradition, and this is other things, other way to justify a tradition.
Yeah, to justify. That's
To
it.
justify the tradition. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you very much, Gabby. You're right. Okay, anybody else? This is becoming so interesting. Hello? Don't go.
We should keep going for another hour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, we are almost finishing. All right. Paloma, please.
Yes, I only want. I have other question, teacher. It's in this kind of traditions where I am not agree. I have a question about that. And for who kind of persons there are good traditions. These. Because I think for the regular person or normal person, I want to think they are not agree with this kind of traditions.
Yeah, they don't agree.
Yes, teacher, and this is my question: who justify this guy?
So I don't know. I think that some people justify this fact with poverty. They say it is because I don't have the money enough for maintaining the girls, no? But there could be many better things to do than selling the girl to a man for getting married, because they also have the tradition of deal with girls as if they were animals. So they hit them, they insult them. So the treat is not the the one that a husband should give to his wife. So that's why they buy a woman instead of conquering, of falling in love. So that's so different. Well, you know what? I think that we, as Diego said, we could be talking and talking all night long about this interesting topic. But unfortunately, we have finished with our time. And so I don't know if somebody wants to say anything else or to ask anything.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Diego.
You say on the email you sent to us about exam, midterm exam for the next week. How that is gonna work?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I guess that it was a mistake because you are in the unit 2. So there couldn't be any exam